Welcome to Launch Code, a premier business podcast, starring Evan Hafer, Matt Best, and Jared Taylor.
Well, hello, everybody. We are not live because it's not a live show, but we're here in Dallas, Texas. Back in Texas. Feels good to be
rainy
back.
Texas.
It's raining, though, but it's still Texas. So you just feel that Texas air. It's the air of agreement.
Yeah, it is the air of agreement. And with the rain coming down, no one knows how to drive here. Oh my God.
Oh, so we are joined today with a Mr. Gaston Mooney. How do you pronounce your first name?
Gaston.
And
Yeah.
we can't say Gaston.
Oh, you can. I mean, my Spanish teacher called me that.
Can we roll with Gaston?
Well, yeah, we can roll with whatever. As long as as long as we're not going by my actual first name, Arnold, we can roll with whatever we want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, both are all right.
Yeah.
Arnold was a major fictitious character in Westworld.
That's true. Yeah, or I like to go with the former governor of California,
That is true.
Arnold.
Yes, Gaston Arnold.
Yeah.
So Mr. Gaston Mooney is one of the founders and owners of CRTV.
Correct.
And why I'm really excited for this episode, and this is important, because right now, a lot of us that are on, our belief side are being silenced and hindered by a lot of major tech platforms.
Yeah.
And that is because, sadly, the tech side of the house is mostly very liberal.
Yeah, there's a huge bubble in Silicon Valley. I mean, you got these gatekeepers that have, they've built up these platforms. They've been huge for basically the democratization of ideas, ways to communicate with mass numbers of people. And I think, where the basically the shit hit the fan, so to speak, of like this last election was when it got used by the Trump campaign, and the people didn't like the results of the election. They said, hey, we can't let this happen again. We need to go after and stop this stuff. And that's where they've been going. You look at just like Facebook is being pounded by liberals.
Facebook and YouTube, YouTube
Google
has since taken a stance on demonetizing any sort of firearm content.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook has really pulled in the reins on their rules. And, I'm sorry, but if you want to talk about the election, you had a business guy in the election. What do you think he's going to do?
Yeah.
He's going to hire a bunch of amazing marketing people that understand social media inside and out and understand social media advertising, and he's going to use it to his advantage. That's everybody else's fault on the other teams for not waking up and knowing. I mean,
and playing the game.
Us having multiple e-commerce businesses, we have a high understanding of social media advertising and what it brings to the table and what kind of conversions and stuff it gives us. So that's their own fault.
Yeah, and it's a double standard out there too. So I mean, look, when Obama was running, they had the whole, they were using Facebook data, they were, using it to target people. The Trump campaign, Cambridge Analytica, there was that whole scandal with them, and what was the news this week that Cambridge Analytica finally had to close their doors. And so it's double standard. Oh, Obama did it. They were looking the other way. It's okay because we got the desired outcome. On this side, this election, the desired outcome did not happen. Therefore, it's bad. And so, that's when things react. And what we see a lot of times, and this is one of the reasons why we started CRTV, was that the left, even they'll disagree with what you say, and because they disagree with it, you are not allowed to say it. And so they try to weaponize advertisers, they try to weaponize platforms against you, and they want to remove your ability to even engage in the conversation. And so that's why we said, hey, we need to build a type of platform that's subscriber supported, that basically we're building a moat around to protect what we're doing in our business model. And so for your listeners that aren't familiar with CRTV, real quick, it's CRTV is an over the top video subscriber supported network. You subscribe to Netflix. There's apps, Seer TVs on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, smart TVs, etc. And it's programming from like Mark Levin, the great one who's on radio.
You have Apple TV too?
Yeah, Apple TV.
Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty, he has a show. We just announced Eric Bowling, who used to be with the former Fox News anchors, coming to Seer TV. We've got Louder with Crowder. Steven Crowder, he's huge, massive college following. We've got Gavin McInnes. We've got a ton of people we have like news programming. We have a White House correspondent.
Most recently added
comedy.
Graham Allen.
Yes, Graham Allen. That's right, Rant Nation. They're doing really well.
Maybe someday in the future might add us.
Yeah, I know. I think you guys would be a good fit. Let's talk about it.
But yeah, and let's drag it back. It's like, we keep seeing over the last few months, the last few weeks specifically, is all, Mark Zuckerberg getting the fire on him over this data collection. Well, I'm so confused at some of their arguments because you have an open platform that everybody volunteers their information. They volunteer to tell Facebook whether they're male or female. Mm-hmm. They volunteer to give their email address to Facebook. They volunteer to tell them their age and their birth date so they get a happy birthday every year from Facebook. They volunteer all of their interests, their likes, everything that they do. They volunteer that stuff to the platform.
Yeah.
So why are you getting mad when
Exactly.
somebody that knows? Because I know I can go and click on a random Facebook profile that ignored all their privacy settings, and I can literally figure out a sickly amount. I can figure out what areas they live in. I can figure out who their family members are. I can figure out what they like. I can openly see what groups they belong to.
Sure, and that's for a
Facebook.
reason too, though. And the reason is the quality of someone's life is improved by putting some of that information out there because, we use Facebook to advertise for Seer TV. We're trying to find people like, hey, we think you might be interested in this product. We're not forcing anyone to sign up for a subscription to Seer TV or to take that free trial. And so we go out and say, hey, we know a subscriber looks like this, let's build a lookalike audience and let's go out and tell them about our product and we can reach it. So by giving that information, you're getting ads, you're getting, information about products you may enjoy, like Black Rifle Coffee. It's being put out there. That's how a ton of people probably found out about it.
Seeing all those politicians try to talk to Zuckerberg was sickening to me.
Yeah.
Because they were so stupid. They were so ignorant on the subject.
It was embarrassing.
And it is embarrassing. It's like, you don't deserve to be in this seat. If this is supposedly the most important hearing of the year, and you don't even bother educating yourself on what you're talking about, and you just want to spew stupidity to the guy, you're just wasting everyone's time.
Yeah, it was Mr. Zuckercorn. Please tell us about Spacebook.
Exactly. Wait, you don't sell anything. That doesn't sound like a business model to me.
Yeah,
a business model that's worth $27 billion. You dumb shit.
Yeah, the free market and stock market would beg to differ with your assessment there, Senator. Yeah, and that's
they don't have a building, and they have a campus.
And the one thing it showed though, the one thing that showed it is that Congress is not it cannot regulate. They don't understand this stuff. They are so far behind.
Yeah, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have a knee-jerk
and that's the
legislation put out, and it's so stupid because it doesn't mean anything.
It's going to hurt everything way more than it helps, and that's the problem when government gets involved in a lot of this stuff. That it just oh, we're here from the government and we're here to help. And it's like, oh dear God.
So yes, in this age, 2018, where all these tech platforms they don't come out and admit it, but we all know that they do it. They are attempting to silence our side.
Yeah, and they feel like they have a social responsibility to
shield people
exactly,
from
and some of them like Zuckerberg are thinking about their legacy. And if you look at like the changes in Facebook when it came down, Zuckerberg went on vacation, like on it wasn't medically, it was he has a kid. Anyways, he was out on paternity leave. Paternity leave. And then he came back, and I guess he spent time with his kid, and he came back and just made change after change. And then we saw on the platform, they changed the algorithm, ratcheted all the stuff, and then in the media space right now, there are just websites that are, that are going under, little things that went under. You read about layoffs and, in conservative media. Last week, Red State, it's a popular right of center blog that started, they had a large mass firing. It's hitting people's business models. And that's one of the, a lot of people are turning to subscription. And that's why CRTV, we said, listen, we don't want to depend on a third party platform for our entire business model.
And I mean, that was always a fear from us years ago.
Yeah.
What if Facebook went away tomorrow? Where do we stand as a business?
Yeah,
that's why we focused on
and you guys have
customer
subscription,
creation, email, subscription,
the coffee club,
our audio, these shows that we do.
Yes,
because we spend our time trying to reach everybody in a different arena. So if one goes away, the business doesn't go away.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to. It's diversification of marketing, diversification of communication with your clients, of your audience. I mean, that's what it's all about.
So, yes, now you have created a new place for people to go where, you're allowing the partners that you bring in and give shows to speak whatever their opinion is.
Yeah.
Do you have any left-leaning shows?
No, I mean, we have like left-leaning guests that'll come on. They'll come on, they'll debate, and, and honestly, we'd like to have more, that would come on just because it makes things interesting. We're not going to have like, the basic like cable yelling match or anything. I think people are kind of over that in a lot of cases. But, in some, we've had like Sally Cohn come on, liberals and stuff. But a lot of times, like we'll send our guys out to go on kind of hostile media and stuff. And
we need to hunt for some educated lefts because I've yet to witness
that's
a
the
debate where they fight with fact and literally like plan.
Yeah,
like
and that's the
solution,
thing.
And solution.
And the problem with the debates is now we can't even agree on like the basic facts though of like rewind like 20 years. Like everyone agreed like, hey, here's men and women, two sexes. Like the fundamental facts are like this is what America is. This is what it means. And they might have different ways of approaching like public policy or solutions or how we go about stuff. But today the divide is so large that we can't even agree on the basic meaning of terms that we're using in the debates and is the conversations, and that's a bad place to be.
I saw a really good rebuttal image recently that where it was talking about the Second Amendment and it had like an image with a quote that said, "Well, they were referring to muskets." Okay, and then their fire back was, "Okay, then the First Amendment isn't referring to digital."
Yeah, and the internet is not protected. Yeah.
So and you tell that to somebody on the line, they go, "What? No."
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, like you can't have one
without
and not
the other. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And the cognitive dissonance is just blowing their mind up.
Yeah. And then you again, like you said, you try to have those conversations, but they can't even agree on what. They won't even agree on what shall not be infringed means.
Yeah, well, and it's like, I mean, and if you look at our culture too, like as we go forward, go back 20 years, we didn't, with media, there was no Netflix, there was no subscription services, even going back further, people drank the same.
It was all filtered information.
Well, it was, but people, as we get further along, what's one of the ways that people compete in a marketplace is they create a niche market. They create a brand for themselves, like you guys have done it in the coffee space. We're doing that in the media space. But previously, it's like Charles Murray talks about this in his book Coming Apart, where at the seams of American culture, before there was cable TV, everyone watched the same TV shows. Everyone drank the same beer, even though they were in different socioeconomic classes. That's what was the fabric that held some of the society together. But now, there's this section of the population that watches Game of Thrones. This one is watching this, and there's so much niche content out there and cultural experiences that it is putting some strain on the melting pot of America. So
yeah, but also 20 years ago the entertainment space was so different because it was filtered and decided who got to be in front of the camera.
Oh, exactly.
There was a number of people.
The gatekeepers.
So nowadays though, there's anybody can get in front of a camera, and if you earn I think earning an audience is harder than the popular people telling all of us that we should like this person because
Exactly.
he's in a movie.
And the gatekeepers think they're the ones that need to decide, like, these are the people you should follow. But let's take Graham Allen, for example. He's a good one. So Graham obviously created his big following just from Facebook. So take the iPhone, Facebook Live. What took basically a satellite truck, to go live to reach millions of people. Now you can literally do with just a phone. And the people that see that, they're smart enough. I'm sure that, everyone's seen an idiot go live on Facebook somewhere else, but they don't get big followings because the masses, the public, the audience is like, that person's an idiot. They have their own judgment to determine that is not a good person to follow. And the gatekeepers think that, they think the people, the audience is stupid enough that they can't make these decisions for themselves. And so if you look like Graham, smart guy, engaging, and that's how his audience came, because they watch it, they go, we like this guy, we're going to follow him. I want more of this. And that's what it's done.
Even those gatekeepers, though, ignore the fact when you've earned a following. They don't see it as real.
Exactly.
When I am fully convinced that it's twice as
Russian
hard.
bots.
It's just because we've over the last 2 years we've been in countless meetings with production companies and networks and things about TV shows and everything, and it's constantly you have these network executives that want to tell us what the audience would like, and meanwhile, we're looking at them like, no,
you're engaging with your audience.
We already showed you. We know what the audience likes. So don't tell me, some guy who's never set foot in a gun shop in his life or never served in the military, never did this. You can't come and tell me what the conservative side of America or what the military demographic wants to watch. You don't fucking know.
Well, look at like the whole Roseanne phenomenon. They're like,
now they're shitting their pants.
Yeah, well, because they realize they don't understand, the broad base of America, the heartland. They've drifted so far from it. And that's why they never saw Trump coming.
I firmly believe because they're too busy pandering to a small majority.
Yeah.
You look at how much talk was just about the transgender community. And how many people is that in the United States?
Is it how representative as the
40,000,
population?
Sub 30,000?
Yeah.
Why are we spending so much time talking about that little of a percentage of the populace? Why don't you look at the working class of America, the people that are working hard and maybe getting screwed over on taxes and still just trying to keep their head above water and things that, little laws that are passed that are affecting them a great deal, like... Yeah. Cater to them because they pay for things.
Exactly, and it's the disease of the Acela corridor. The DC to New York, Amtrak Acela corridor train. And I always would joke, let's say a big storm's going through the country. It hits basically the entire country, and then when it hits, the Acela corridor, it's like national news. It leads the NBC Nightly News, all the newscasts, and
they have a name for the storm,
they have
and
a
a logo.
Like, look at all the damage.
Stormzilla in 2018.
Well, and it basically just rolled through Ohio, Kansas, basically the entire United States, and it wasn't a news story until it affected us here in this elite corridor.
Suit-wearing guys that go to offices and
yeah, exactly. So it just shows that they're driving the agenda. That you have the left coast, the west coast, the People's Republic of California.
Coast.
Yeah, exactly.
County coast.
Yeah, and then DC, New York, where the elites are that are trying to drive the conversation for the rest of America.
You guys uncovered like a new level of stupidity recently with this battle of what's being allowed to be out there, and that's with Phil Robertson.
Yes,
showing how to fillet a catfish.
Yeah, highly controversial. Like it is.
To all our listeners, we're all out there laughing at these people. Like, you are idiots.
Yeah,
you don't even know where your own food comes from.
So for the listeners that don't know, Phil Robertson, In the Woods with Phil, show on CRTV. Phil was, he does all kinds of stuff on it. He blows up beaver dams. He does cooking. He's, talked religion, philosophy, etc. Anyways, one of the episodes, he was showing how to fillet a catfish, just basically like going through the process. And we posted it on social media, and it got banned and censored, for violent, content. And it was just ridiculous. And that's where your food comes from. Like, that is like...
You're teaching...
It's a rite of passage.
Skill.
Yeah. Basically, every Southern boy who's ever gone fishing, with their father, their grandfather, etc. I mean, that's something they're going through. And it's a cultural norm. And it's being, like, this is not an appropriate conversation to have on Facebook.
They're driving... And the thing is, they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Because they're driving the divide, and they're making themselves look so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But... can we be mad? Or
no, I mean, well, and that's the thing is the only way and as far as in our business, the only way we've gotten response out of Facebook, we've gotten response from Google, YouTube, other places. The only way we can make progress is when we punch back and punch back hard. You know, we made a big deal about it. We went on and said, you know, Phil did a Facebook Live talking about how ridiculous it was that, you know, Zucker, he calls him Zucker, you know, is censoring his videos. And after we did that, we finally got, you know, Facebook like reached out to us. You know, they said, hey, we're sorry. We didn't mean to. You know, it's kind of like a mea culpa. But by the time the damage was done and
honestly,
with the video.
No, it's like you got to think about it this way, too, is we could be falling victim to button pushers. Like, yeah. I guarantee you, Facebook puts out policy. Like, when they tell us, like, what gets down to us, there's no black and white rules. They just say community guidelines. You violated community guidelines.
Yeah, and there's no transparency.
There's no, this is okay, this is not okay, this is okay. So, all those people that are working in Silicon Valley that all buy into this mess, that all have probably $200,000 in student loans and or liberal arts degrees and all this other
underwater
craziness.
basket weaving.
Yeah. They're the ones that are sitting behind the buttons. And if that one kid that one day doesn't like that, he has the power to nuke it. Is that really Facebook?
No, I mean
maybe not.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's because what they're doing.
The platform is you can never tell.
Yeah, well, they're using like machine learning. So you know, basically to teach the algorithm like what is what's clickbait, what's good, what's bad. You know, they're having literally people are sitting out in millions of interactions of tagging content to say this is good, this is bad, so that the machine can learn to make decisions. And so somebody that let's take for example the headline that says Donald Trump is the worst president. Now that's obviously like an opinion headline. It's incredibly driven, but for somebody who's liberal, they're like, oh, that's factual. That's a factual, so that's a good thing, and then they see something like as a conservative or another thing, they're like, oh no, that's fake news because I disagree with that, and that should not be out there. And then the machine learning algorithm kicks in, and that's where the fingers put on the scale that starts to tip the balance.
Here's something I find incredibly funny and hypocritical and interesting as of late is, we had friends that had a show coming out on a network. It got shelved for now because of the gun controversy. And
you want to hook me up with them? Interested in talking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We had something on the table, and we were told by multiple networks. I would love to publish that email too. We will not do anything with guns. We will not make a show about coffee. It was almost laughable, as if there was a show
coffee is
about
so controversial,
that did very well.
Yeah,
but you're gonna look down on us because
it only had an average audience about 14 million an episode.
So I think more people relate to coffee than they do to duck calls. But moving on is network television has completely cut out and shelved and banned gun culture TV, but feature Hollywood has not. So it's nobody
know what sells.
Nobody pushed the release of Deadpool 2. The newest Hitman's Bodyguard just came out. That's 90 minutes of nothing but a gunfight.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, you guys are full of shit. Hollywood is full of shit.
And those movies, because they still do good. They still do well.
Deadpool 2 will bust $1 billion probably in the first month that it's out.
Yeah.
And it's like, so where's the disconnect? You see, the audience is there. The audience wants it. But for us, it's a double-edged sword. Because if Hollywood and network television keep pushing this stuff out, it opens the airwaves for guys like us to be the only ones making content for the right side.
Yeah. No, definitely creates there's a hole in the marketplace. And that's one of the things we're trying to fill. And you guys are doing it too, the same way with your marketing and, your Black Rifle Coffee videos. And you're meeting a market need. You're letting them know about your product at the same time. And that's what we're trying to do with CRTV is fill the hole in the marketplace. And the subscribers we get, the emails we get, the social media reaction, it's working.
That's the thing.
People are excited about it.
In 2 years, they'll finally realize the market gap they created, which let guys like us come in, and now they won't be able to turn around.
Yeah, and even on the political side, like there was a political gap. Like that's how Donald Trump was able to come in. People, with the approval rating in Congress was like 9%. Everyone hates the Republicans and the Democrats. And we were talking the other day, you know, somebody said, hey, you know, one thing we haven't tried in D.C. is like, let's throw a grenade there. Oh, hey, Donald Trump, you know, let's send you there to have some fun. So, and that it was a political gap, and that's what people take advantage of. And you know, Trump's a good businessman, and he sees gaps, opportunities, you know, and that's what he did.
So, what's the next 18 months look like for CRTV?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we've got about 16 shows right now. We've got a few more in the pipeline coming. Some in pilots, some in development. Ones we're talking to. And what it looks like is you know, at this point we've got a good bit of content. Now we're trying to scale. We're trying to get bigger. We're trying to get our name ID out there. We're trying to get marketing out there. We know what our cost per acquisition is. We know what our lifetime values are at this point. And now it's just simply applying math to numbers to get out there. So that's where we're going. We're growing. You know, and we're going to try some new types of content too. You know, we looked at a little bit of sports stuff. We've looked at some other cultural programming, things like that, and we think there's a big need in the marketplace to still fill. So that's the 18-month, you know, at the 40,000 foot view, and you know, we've been expanding. I think we've added 10 to 12 shows in the last calendar month, which has been breakneck speed. So it's stretched the team, but you know, that's what we're doing. There's a limited opportunity timeline wise, and we're going to seize it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you guys at?
Yes, crtv.com. If you're interested in it, we got a 30-day free trial going on right now. Sign up. If you like it, keep paying. Enjoy it. You'll love it. It's on all your devices. If you don't, cancel it the 30 days. You're not going to hurt our feelings. Just tell me why. Give us some feedback. We want to make it better.
Hear that, guys? Go check it out for 30 days.
You got nothing to lose. Literally nothing to lose.
It's just a couple fields.
Yeah.
Just a couple fields you got to fill out, and you get to watch some cool stuff. You know, Evan and Matt are featured on one of Graham's episodes.
Yep,
so you guys
episode
can watch
2.
That.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Episode.
Give it a shot because we're big fans.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Had a ton of fun, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gaston Mooney of CRTV. This is Launch Code.